Hello and welcome to the NorseForce Valhalla Cup Series live tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are here for the Crockett Creek 225, race number 1 of the playoffs and race number 19 on the season. It's going to be an exciting one here tonight at the home of NASCAR. Let's go to the track side and see what the drivers are up to. Looks like maybe in the middle of qualifying. Keith Maiato is out on the track currently. Nicholas Short sitting with the fastest time about halfway through the qualifying session. A lot on the line for these drivers starting tonight. There's only 5 chase playoff races here in the Valhalla Cup Series. There's 3 rounds though, and this is the first race of the first round, one of only 2 races in this round, so it's going to be important to get a nice solid finish here, especially with a smaller field as it appears. We've got around 15 drivers going to be starting tonight, and hopefully these drivers who are in the playoffs are all here and going to give it their best effort as they come to the tail end of this season. A lot of drivers coming in on a hot streak. That's Derek Justice and Anthony Burrows, both drivers with multiple wins on the season. The only drivers in the playoffs actually that have multiple wins, as it looks like Ian Smith just wrapping up his lap. He's going to be 8th on the board, and we are waiting for a few more drivers to get out there and put their lap down. Matt Kemp sitting on the pit lane at the moment, and he is waiting to get his lap time in. Still about 4.5 minutes left in the practice or qualifying session. Now let's take a look at our points coming in. Everyone is tied here at 1,000 points. No advantage to the winners through this season. Everybody gets reset, and so it is a clean slate. These drivers are going to have to race their way to the front and earn those points to get an advantage going into next race. And it is going to make for some exciting action. 150 laps around this racetrack. It's going to be a fun time with this new package. It's going to be about saving your tires and trying to make the move at the right time to get out in front. Zach Nichols on the racetrack. He's going to try and put his lap time in. Zach comes in here in the playoffs and tied with all the other drivers in the top 12. Only 8 will advance after the first round, and then it will be whittled down to the final 4 in the next round. So we'll see who sets themselves up for success here tonight at Charlotte. But we want to thank all the sponsors that make these races and broadcasts possible. Tonight's primary sponsor is Crockett Creek Beef Jerky. I want to give a big shout out to those guys, and you can actually save some money over on their website. We are gonna put that coupon code in the chat here and get you guys hooked up with 20% off your purchase. The code is GIVEME20 if you head over to Crockett Creek Beef Jerky's website, and we'll give you that link and the code. They are the primary sponsor here tonight, and been a sponsor alongside the NorseForce Valhalla Cup Series all season. So thankful for their support of these guys. I also want to thank the ButtKicker. You can save 20% on your purchase over there as well by using the code NORSE20 at thebuttkicker.com. So save 20% on your purchase of ButtKicker products. I'd also like to thank Blaze Pizza as well as Next Level Racing. Next Level gave out a sim racing cockpit to the All-Star Race winner, which happened right here at Charlotte as well. That was Malik Ray coming home with the victory in that specific race. Looks like Justin Walters coming out on the racetrack in that flat gray paint scheme, number 49 appearing on the screen here, but he is 54 in the sim. Matt Kemp also on the racetrack, trying to put a lap time in that number 48 auto guard machine. And in lap number 1. In the books, he goes to put his second lap in, which is going to be faster with this specific aero package. Just getting up to speed here. Justin Walters now coming out of turn number 4 as he gets up to speed to start his first flying lap. Those two, the only drivers on the racetrack right now. Matt Kemp runs a 29.746. That ties him for the fast time, but Nicholas Short is going to beat him out for the top spot. And Nicholas on an incredible streak of starts here in this series. Just going to get an idea of what that streak is exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was multiple poles and top 5s starting positions in the last 10 or so races. Just want to confirm that, but looking like he could potentially get another one here. Yep, 2 poles and has not started outside the top 6 in the last 9 races. If he gets the pole here, it's 3 poles in the last 10. And looks like that is going to be the case. Justin Walters finishing up his second lap at 30.624. It's going to be good for 11th fastest as the checker flag flies on the qualifying session. We also want to take this time to give a big shout out to another one of our sponsors, a brand new podcast that just came out. That is Below the Double Yellow. Go check it out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It is a brand new podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. They just released their latest episode just yesterday, so check them out and support those guys. Listen to some great podcast work as the field is getting ready on the grid here. And let's take a look at where your favorite drivers are starting here tonight. Nicholas Short is going to be the pole sitter here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, so congratulations to the number 99, 29.746, and just edges out Matt Kemp. Must have been less than 1,000th of a second as he runs an identical lap time, but the 48 will be rolling off in the second position. Still a good qualifying effort for him. Kirk Marvel rolling off in 3rd here. Keith Maotto going to be starting in the 4th position. Zach Nichols rolling off in 5th. Dylan Parker going to be starting in the 6th position. Chris Samard rolling off in 7th. Anthony Burrows, who has 5 wins on the year, going to be rolling off in 8th. Dylan Alt starting in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Ian Smith. All those drivers in the playoffs. Justin Walters, the first driver out of the playoffs, he's going to be rolling off in 11th. Derek Justice also in the playoffs, rolling off 12th. Caden Rush, who is not a playoff contender, rolling off 13th. And Ryan Libby going to be starting in the 14th position. Eric Royce, I believe, is the farthest back of any of our playoff contenders. He's going to be starting in the 15th position. And Presley Gilson going to be rolling off in the 16th position. And rounding out the field here tonight at Charlotte is going to be Mr. Michael Yarrow in the number 11 car. And that'll do it for the field of 17 here tonight, as they are getting underway here. Pace car gets rolling. Nicholas Short in that Skittles Wildberry machine. Very vibrant race car. And you will not be able to miss that one on the track. But let's take a look at tonight's track conditions. 86 degree air temp and 88 degree track temp, so not too hot, and it's only going to cool down as we are here during the sunset. So the field's going to be under the lights for the majority of this race, and the track is only going to continue to cool down, and that will make for some really high grip and some tight racing action, I think. But we will have to wait and see, as Nicholas Short, Matt Kemp, both playoff drivers, leading us to the green flag here and about to get the playoffs underway. Cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there, and we'll give you a shout out in chat The drivers will know that you're cheering for them in that way. This pace car onto pit lane. Nicholas Short leading them into the tri-oval. Green flag in the air, and we're underway for the Crockett Creek 225 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 48 of Matt Kemp with a great jump on the outside lane. He's going to be able to clear Nicholas Short going down into turn number 1. That was not expected. So they roll out of turn 2. The field making their way down the backstretch. Kemp going to stay down in the low line. Short going to jump up high, try and muster up some momentum from that second lane. And it looks like he is going to stick right alongside Matt Kemp. And we are coming to complete the first lap here, nearly 3 wide back there for 4th and 5th. Dylan Parker now on the outside of Zach Nichols, who was looking to take it the 3 wide there, but thought better of it, as Chris Simard looks like he was about to take it 3 wide as well. Simard able to hang on to the 9th position here, but Zach Nichols under attack from Caden Rush as they go side by side. And Keith Mayato fighting off Kirk Marble here. That is 3rd and 4th. Mayato started in the 4th position as the battle for the lead does continue. Side by side, Matt Kemp now on the high line. He's trying to stay alongside Nicholas Short, but is unable to do so. Now rolling down the back straightaway, headed down into turn number 3. A lot of drivers side by side. And it is not clear to me which lane is working better at this point. But we see Nicholas Short back to the lead. Matt Kemp now drops to 2nd. And side by side for 3rd through 6th. Actually, that is going to be 3rd through 8th side by side. And some really solid racing. Stuck behind Keith Mayato and Kirk Marble. Dylan Parker, Anthony Burrows. Can't say he's the points leader anymore with 5 wins on the season. He had a massive points advantage, and that has been instantly erased. But Burrows with only 2 finishes outside the top 5 this season, and has been by far and away the top driver this campaign. That was the 44 of Zach Nichols brushes the wall. He had to check up for Caden Rush, who switched lanes down the back straightaway, but Nichols able to continue onward, and it doesn't look like he has any. He does have a little crinkle on the right front fender, so it did rub up against the wall. And we'll see if that affects him as the run progresses. But right now, these drivers pretty much nose to tail. Other than the top 2, Nicholas Short out in front by about 1/4 of a second. Behind him, it is Matt Kemp. Let's go to the nose cam here with Mr. Matt Kemp. As you're pretty much flat out around this place, 180 miles an hour, going down into turn number 1, and only dropping down to about 173. The slowest point through the corner, so not a whole lot of braking or lifting going on. And we've got Cody Kennedy cheering on Kirk Marble, who currently rides in 4th, and we have Blazer Pete cheering on Keith Mayato and Chris Simard in the V-Speed machines. As this is a very intense battle brewing back here. Dylan Parker up on the high line there. He is trying to make something work around Caden Rush, but it looks like Caden is starting to march forward up from 13th. He is into the top 5 already, just 8 laps into this race. And the closer you are to the front, the longer your tires are going to last. As the aero push, definitely a huge issue. Anthony Burrows slams the wall there, headed into turn number 1. Not sure if he has any damage, but looks like he is starting to drop back here. The 42, Dylan Alton, that flat black Ford Mustang. Going to take it to the inside. Anthony not really going to fight him. And he will drop to 9th position. Maybe Anthony trying to preserve tires the old-fashioned way, just going a little bit easier in the opening laps of this race. But he does have right side damage, so that could be affecting the straight line speed, as now Chris Simard comes up behind him. And Samard looks to push him down into turn number 3, but will he make a move in the coming laps? Remains to be seen, as Nicholas Short now starting to gap the field up to about a half-second advantage over Matt Kemp, who continues to slowly fall back. Continues to hold an advantage over Keith Maiato. And Maiato leading this pack of cars. Now side by side, Kirk Marble and Dylan Parker. Dylan Parker with a win on the season. Looking for another one here as he rubs up against the 61. But no real advantage for either driver down in this corner. Number 1 now, the 25 of Parker pulls ahead, exiting turn 2, and he will clear the 61. As Caden Rush, a little wiggle there, almost 3 wide. Zach Nichols really trying to force the issue. He knows that he needs the points, has lost a couple spots early in this race. Zach has been one of the best tire savers on the long run at these mile-and-a-half tracks, so I would expect to see him closer to the front before these guys make their pit stops. If you are just joining us, this is race number 1 of the playoffs for the NorseForce Racing League Valhalla Cup Series, live from Charlotte Motor Speedway. A lot on the line for quite a few drivers. Here are the point standings coming into tonight's race. Everybody's tied up at 1,000 points. No matter how many wins you got on the regular season, everybody resets. So those are your top 12, and only 8 will advance at the end of this round. And this round, just this race and next week's race. So the cutoff is going to be at the end of next week's race, and you really got to set yourself up well with your finish here tonight. But Nicholas Short showing some dominance here early, and we've seen him do this a few times this season. 3rd time he started on the pole in the last 10 weeks, and multiple podium finishes, and he has led quite a few laps. Really dominated the New Hampshire race, but made a mistake late while leading, and ultimately sent him to the back of the field, where he called it an early night. But Kirk Marble racing it out side by side with Dylan Parker still. Marble with the inside line, potentially an advantage at this point. As they head down in turns 3 and 4, he gets right on the blue line, has to check up. It's going to allow Caden Rush to get right behind him. Oh, a little contact. Kirk Marble. It's a little bit sideways as Caden Rush looking for a way around. He will now peek to the inside. Trying to make that move work down in 1 and 2. Almost contact there. They are really pushing the issue. Just 17 laps into this event. But maybe they don't see the caution coming. But the 40 trying to get to the back bumper. And he is right there. And Chris Samard starting to reel these drivers in. So Samard now up to 7th. Right where he started, but he had lost a couple spots early. And he is watching on this battle. Up in front of him, you can see the leader, Nicholas Short, making his way through turns 3 and 4. Now at the rear, Ian Smith side by side with Anthony Burrows. Zach Nichols trying to recover and gain a couple spots back that he has lost here in the early going. Anthony Burrows, though, maybe trying to make a charge back forward as well as he drops in behind Zach Nichols. As we are 3 wide, up farther, Caden Rush, Kirk Marble, and Dylan Parker. Parker contact with Marble, and he's going to go into the wall. Samard now going to sneak on past, and he will take away 6th position. But Kirk Marble slipping up into Dylan Parker, or perhaps the 25 coming down, as now Marble making contact with Caden Rush, as they have been duking it out throwing punches back and forth the last 2 or 3 laps. And that is going to send the 61 into the clutches of Chris Simard. And Simard unable to do anything down in the low line. Really going to be challenging as the tires wear. The cars just get tighter and tighter. And the aero push just gets worse and worse as Matt Kemp now 8/10 behind your leader, Nicholas Short, and then he is 6/10 out in front of Keith Mayato. And Mayato looking for another podium finish. He has been pretty close the last handful of weeks. I think 4 top 5s in the last 5 races. Finished runner-up last week to Derek Justice. But the gap was just thousandths of a second at Talladega, and now Keith looking for his first victory. Currently 1.3 seconds off the lead. And he must be feeling pretty comfortable with nobody right behind him. And there is this line of race cars here. Kirk Marble out in front. Chris Simard, Ian Smith has reeled them in. And then Derek Justice trying to make his way through the field. Up 3 spots from where he started. I expect Derek to continue to climb through the standings. And once again, if you're just tuning in, this is V-Speed, and my name is Adam Baker. I am the commentator here, and if you're enjoying the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. You can also find race replays for this series and other interesting automotive content on our YouTube channel at V-Speed Media. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at V-Speed Sim. Check us out on all of those platforms where we post race updates as well as other interesting racing content on site and otherwise. The 37 of Chris Simard now in a sandwich here between Eric Royce. Kirk Marble going to back out of it. He's seen this play out before, and that is going to allow Derek Justice now up to the 7th position, right on the back bumper of Royce, and I think something is brewing here. As Simard to the outside, he's going to try and hold the 72 down there, but no help on the high line. Down the back straightaway, he gets right along the quarter panel. Derek Justice down there, giving a big push to Royce down into the corner. Simard unable to carry the speed that he needs to complete the pass, and Royce unable to pull up in front of him. So we are kind of at a stalemate right now. Derek Justice, though, giving a big assist to Royce. Now he dives to the inside. Clean air on the nose of that race car. And he'll set his sights on Caden Rush. So Derek Justice making it work as he picks up about 4 positions over the course of 2 laps. Currently the 2nd fastest car on the racetrack. Ian Smith also up there in terms of lap time, but this one not as good as the previous lap. He gets trapped behind the 72. And nowhere to make the move as now Simard back to the outside. Kind of boxes him in. And out in front, Matt Kemp has taken the lead. Not sure what happened to Nicholas Short, but he was way out in front, and Matt Kemp reeled him back in. We've got contact Caden Rush, I believe, around. Caden Rush, heavy damage on the number 40 machine. And I think some others possibly caught up in this, but let's take a look. What brought out caution number 1. So we're looking on here with the 40, and he was racing with the 25 of Dylan Parker. I think Dylan Parker, not sure what happens here. He comes up the racetrack. 40 looks to go to the inside. They make contact. 25 trying to hang on. 40 goes to the outside, and wow, heavy damage for the 25. He is done for the race. But Caden Rush, serious contact there. That car going to be thoroughly damaged, and potentially going to be the end of his race as well. Dylan Parker, though, a playoff driver. And looking like he is going to make an early exit here and potentially have to dig himself out of a hole next week. So unfortunate there for Dylan as the leaders making their way around there. Going to bring it to the pit lane and take the lap number 30 from pit lane. So Matt Kemp will lead them down. Nicholas Short, Keith Mayato, and everyone else. As we will take a look at the end of pit lane here. Looks like everybody pretty cleanly in their box. Nobody backing up or trying to correct the position. And we'll see if anybody tries 2 tires at any point tonight, but Derek Justice, a great stop. Looks like he's going to come out in the 3rd or 4th position. Matt Kemp going to win the battle off pit lane, and Nicholas Short will come out in 2nd. Mayato looks like he is 3rd. And Derek Justice now going to be shown in the 4th position. We'll see if any of these guys got a speeding penalty or anything like that. Does not look like it. So that is going to take us to our first commercial break here, just about a 5th of the way through the race, and we'll be right back with the green flag.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, we don't have fancy Madison Avenue advertising. We don't have famous Hollywood endorsements. We don't have mythical creatures as mascots. See, here at Crockett Creek, we're proud of what we don't have. No artificial preservatives or chemicals, gluten-free, and no added MSG. Just all natural, small batch protein made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Enjoy Crockett Creek Jerky, from our backyard to yours.
And pace car lights are off here, working under caution number 1, which involved Dylan Parker as well as Caden Rush. They have both taken it behind the wall, so their races are over. The rest of the field is on the lead lap, so no one a lap down that is still in the race. Right now, Matt Kemp out in front. He chased down Nicholas Short. We did not see how it happened, but reeled him in from around a second back. So potentially a mistake for the 99, but that is how they currently ride on the racetrack. And to recap, 2 lead changes and just the 1 caution to this point. Pretty good racing going on, even with the smaller field here tonight. Just 12 drivers remain in the race. I believe all but 1 or 2 are in the playoffs. as Dylan Parker is out. It looks like Justin Walters, the only driver who is not in the playoffs that is currently in the race. So all of the other drivers currently fighting for as many points as they can get. And green flag back in the air here at Charlotte for race number 1 of the playoffs. Matt Kemp leading the field. Nicholas Short going to be able to drop down in line. Keith Mayato pushing him from behind. And these guys don't want to lose touch with the leader like they did last time. Derek Justice has climbed through the field. Now to the outside, trying to give a push to Ian Smith, who's going to get a little pull down here in 3 and 4. But Derek way up by the wall, maybe trying to save some tires on that number 31 Baskin-Robbins machine. But he's going to get passed up for the moment. Eric Royce goes to the inside as the top 4 fight it out. Ian Smith drops in behind Mayato. Nicholas Short hanging tough on the high line, but unable to make progress up there just yet. And now he will catch up to him down the straightaway. Huge draft going into turn number 3, and the 99, he's there. They're alongside each other past the start finish line. Keith Mayato, Ian Smith fighting it out for 3rd and 4th positions. And Chris Samard back here in 5th. He is able to clear Eric Royce, and he's going to bring Kirk Marble along with Zach Nichols right on past the 72. This looks like Eric may be trying to save some tires as well. He has no help or draft up there in the high line, and he is going to lose a few more spots as Nichols up to 7th. Anthony Burrows up to the 8th position now. As lap number 36 goes up on the board here, Matt Kemp still showing the way. He has led 12 laps, and Nicholas Short looks to the inside, trying to get some clean air on that race car. He's led 23 laps here after starting on the pole, but these two have swapped that position back a couple times now. Ian Smith has climbed from the 10th position up to 3rd, trying to stay within arm's reach of those drivers. Looks like an issue for Keith Mayato. He's starting to fall back now to 7th. He's going to get passed up by Zach Nichols, Kirk Marble, Chris Samard, and potentially Anthony Burrows this time through 3 and 4. And Burrows trying to get back to where he started. And it looks like he will do so. So Matt Kemp, Nicholas Short, Ian Smith, Chris Martin, Zach Nichols fighting it out for the top 5 here. Kirk Marble and Nichols going back at it once again. And really tight racing down there in turns 3 and 4. Nichols in that new paint scheme, the Nichols design Toyota Camry. Working the low line. Kirk Marble trying to pinch him down there and take as much air off the rear spoiler as possible. Not going to work this time as the 44 able to clear the 61. Down the back straightaway, Anthony Burrows going to have to drop in behind. So no progress being made by the 62 through that last lap. As Keith Mayato now trying to fight off Eric Royce. And Dylan Alt, who's in this flat black number 42, almost looks like an optical illusion, the way that thing is absorbing light. But Dylan Alt, right around where he started in the 10th position, started in 9th, and just riding back here. Dylan is in the playoffs. He got a victory. I believe it was Watkins Glen just a couple weeks ago, and he's looking for another one here, but he's hanging out at the tail end of the top 10. Derek Justice goes back to the 11th position, and looks like he is trying to save some tires, running about 0.3 of a second off the leader's pace, and currently 2.8 seconds back. But we're used to seeing strategy by Derek in this series. We heard him pulling fuel strategy last week along with Keith Mayato, and it worked out in their favor, finishing 1-2. Justin Walters back here in the 12th position. He is just hanging out, tail end of the field, but still within 3.5 seconds of the leader. He's getting a nice little pull here from Derek Justice. So it's a quick run through the field. As we are past a quarter of the way through this race, Nicholas Short has once retaken the lead. Matt Kemp back to second. Ian Smith in third. And everybody nose to tail for the moment. No side-by-side battles happening, as the field much smaller than it was at the start of the race. Actually, only 2 cars smaller, but it looks smaller because everybody is so spread out at the moment. No one is really clumped up next to each other. So the top 7 are in line. Chris Samard looks like he was going to make a move, but decides not to. So he rubs up against the wall there, headed into turn number 1. Some sparks flying off the V-Speed Camaro. And Matt Kemp trying to take that lead back away, as these two in front have continued to swap the lead. Nicholas Short and Matt Kemp both looking for their first victories of the season. And I believe only 3 drivers in the field have won, so more than likely we will see a new winner here tonight. The highest of those previous race winners is Anthony Burrows, currently in the 6th position. And then you got to go back to Dylan Alt in 10th and Derek Justice in 11th. And Derek continuing to run a little bit off the pace here. Just kind of listen in to what he's doing. Like really just babying that wheel. Oh, issue up there for Dylan Alt. Derek is going to catch up to him. Looks like Dylan going to go to the inside here and let Derek by, but that was a scary moment for Dylan Alt. Not sure what happened exactly. Let's actually go back here, take a look at what happened with Dylan. So they were headed down into turn number 1. Oh, he makes contact with the outside wall, and then a little bit of overcorrection there, but luckily the banking caught that race car, and he's able to continue on. In front, Nicholas Short now out in the lead by about 2 or 3 car lengths. Matt Kemp settles into second. Ian Smith all over his back bumper. And we might see a move here. Ian Smith looks high, nowhere to go. As the 48 shuts the door, and the 37 of Chris Samard starting to lose touch with Ian. About 2 car lengths back, and he's got Zach Nichols all over his tailgate there. Looks like Chris goes in a little bit high in the corner, going to try and cut down and get a little bit more air on the nose of that V-Speed Camaro, but not working for him at the moment. As that 2 car length gap remains, and the 44 still right there. I know the strategy that I've tried to use before, try to keep speed in these race cars on the long run, is to just drive a half lane off of what the car in front of you is. I usually try to drive a half lane lower, or just enter as low as possible to get the air on that front splitter as soon as I can. Sometimes that's hard when you've got a line of 5 or 6 cars. Is now Ian Smith going to try that out himself. He goes to the inside. Matt Kemp with the 48 going to hold him off, and here comes Samard with a big charge along the outside. The 28 going to shut the door. Samard goes down to the inside now, and he will try his luck down there. It's so tough to get the grip as these runs progress 20 laps into the tire run. The 28 of Ian Smith a little sideways out of turn 4. That may cost him third, and it will, as Chris Samard now to that position, and Zach Nichols is going to come on through, and he will go to 4th. So a little slip there by the 28 costs him 2 positions, and that just shows how important it is to keep the momentum up in these cars. As he peaks low, trying to get some air on the nose of that car. The 62 of Anthony Burrows is there now, and they are all lined up nose to tail. Samard going to try and chase down the top two, who have started to slip away, but not by a whole lot. It's still 0.2 between each of these top three. Nose to tail among the top 8. Samard working a slightly different line, a pretty interesting way to run this racetrack. With the high downforce, low horsepower package, you've got to do what you can to find an advantage. And usually it is doing something different, running a higher lane or a lower lane. That is what he is doing. But the 44 of Zach Nichols looks to the inside. He's not quite there yet. Get a little pull down the straightaway. Now he's going to be on the inside. And Samard going to need to get a great run out of turn 4 here. It looks like he will almost clear the 44. That is so close. But he is not going to be able to, as now Nichols works to the inside. And Samard going to have a little help from Ian Smith, who runs up high now. And now the 37 will clear. 44 tries to slip up into line there. He will shut the door on the 28. Ian Smith looks high now. And nowhere to go as he nearly tags the wall. Ian Smith, the 28, and 62 almost hit it there with him. And let's see what's going on here with this pack. A little bit farther back here, Keith Maotto, Eric Royce, Derek Justice. Back here, 8th, 9th, and 10th. As the 72 of Royce sandwiched between the 36 and the 31. And they are all about 3.5 seconds behind your leader. Just kind of riding it out right now, 26 laps into the run. I'm not sure if Derek was just dropping back because he didn't like the look of things, but has not been able to close back up on the rest of the top 10. See if he starts making his way forward here as the laps continue to tick upward. The top two have not separated quite like they did in the last run either. The 48 way down on the apron though, that might cost him some speed. Samard able to close now down to under 0.2 of a second. Definitely unique racing with the new package here in iRacing. So hard to catch up to the cars in front of you and make passes when the tires start to wear out. And track temp, I believe, has actually gone up from the activity on the speedway. So up 2 degrees from where we started, but should continue to drop as the race goes on, and just over a third of the way through the event. And right now Nicholas Short is showing the way. He started on the pole. He's led 43 laps, which quite a good portion of the event. 2 times this year he has led more than 40 laps, and both of those races he did start on the pole. So obviously when he qualifies on top, that car is really, really fast, and currently showing it off right here. Matt Kemp not able to catch back up as Ian Smith peeks to the inside of Zach Nichols. Nothing doing there. The 44 shuts the door. As they head back into turn number 1, this is the top 5 battle up here, and then also Anthony Burrows and Kirk Marble in 6th and 7th position. Not too far behind. And then the next drivers, Derek Justice has gotten by Keith Maotto and Eric Royce, and now starting to close in as Royce tags the apron there. Gonna cost him some time. Maotto trying to get that pole off of the 31, but he got tight out of the corner and gonna lose a little bit of time there. But Derek Justice, fastest car on the speedway that time by, so he is starting to climb back forward now in the 8th position. Dealing all back here with quite a bit of right front damage. He's hoping for something to happen as he's 8.4 seconds back. Justin Walters 10.9. And I don't believe Justin has started a race here before with us, so welcome to the league, number 54. Currently riding shotgun on the field, but not necessarily a bad place to be as the battle for the lead is on. Matt Kemp now to the outside. It looks like Nicholas Short continues to have problems on these long runs, and Matt Kemp able to catch back up. I'm not sure if the tires start losing grip in the back end or what's going on, but the 99 definitely losing some ground here. As Chris Samardo over the back bumper now, down the back straightaway, top 5 nose to tail. Ian Smith now looks to the inside of Zach Nichols, and he's going to get right to the back bumper of Chris Samard. That's going to slow the progress. And not sure what's happening right now, but looks like maybe a shift in the driving performance of some of these race cars. Looks like the guys who saved tires just a little better starting to see the results of that. The 44 of Zach Nichols able to clear the 28, but he brushed the wall. And Zach has a little bit of damage kind of all around that race car, but very, very minor scuffs and bruises. And Chris Samard really putting the pressure on Nicholas Short. Let's go to the nose cam here and see what this battle inside the top 3 looks like. See the top 5 all grouped up there, a little ways back to Kirk Marble. And Anthony Burrows falling into the clutches of Derek Justice. These two were your top 2 drivers in the regular season, finishing 1-2 in the points. But playoffs have started. Right now they find themselves 7th and 8th in this race. Trying to gain some ground here. Derek Justice going to drive right on past, and Derek significantly faster than everyone else on the track, other than Eric Royce and Keith Mayato, who also rode with him a ways back behind the leader, and they are all starting to gain ground on the top 6 or so. So Derek up to 7th. He sets his sights forward on Kirk Marble. And those top 6 drivers all fighting for position nose to tail. And Derek Justice sees his opportunity as Marble able to drive right around Ian Smith. So Ian starting to feel the tire wear on that 28 machine. I think Anthony Burrows in the same boat. Anthony runs up high. He's going to let Keith Mayato on past. And perhaps there's some strategy to what they're doing here. But definitely losing ground are the 62 and the 28. Although Ian Smith right back around the 61 of Kirk Marble, so maybe a mistake from the 61 as he does have damage on the right front. They are just swapping lanes back and forth. Meanwhile, Nicholas Short back to the 4th position. Zach Nichols climbs to 3rd. Chris Samard rides in 2nd, and out in front, Matt Kemp showing the way, the 48 Auto Guard Camaro. Out in front once again, 22 laps led, but Chris Samard is closing in. That gap just a 1/4 of a second as Ian Smith to the outside. Kirk Marble, here comes Derek Justice looking to the inside. And Derek going to try and make that pass work down here in turns 3 and 4. Gets a good run out of the corner. Going to need a little bit of draft help down the straightaway, and he will get some from Ian Smith. Also taking the shorter route. He's right alongside, headed into turn 1. this is where things start to get dangerous and also start to get much more difficult. You get the aero push, no downforce on that front splitter in traffic, and very hard to make up positions and make passes. But Derek Justice able to complete that. He goes to 6th position, and Ian Smith, the next subject in line. Eric Royce now making the pass, and Keith Maotto starting to close in as well. All of those drivers saving tires early on. Maotto, who started up in the top 5, currently in 9th, but definitely gaining ground on everyone in front of him. And let's look at our lap times. This time by, looks like Derek Justice, the fastest car on the track, once again by over a 1/10 of a second. Maotto second fastest. And then Eric Royce third fastest. As you would expect, saving the tires definitely paying off. And sometimes it's hard to tell if the strategy will work if you can actually save enough tire to make up the ground. But Derek Justice now into the top 5. At 1.6 seconds, the gap up to the leader. So he has chopped over 2 seconds off that lead in a matter of about 10 to 15 laps. Really, really climbing forward now. Another 0.5 cut off that last lap, and he's going to go to the inside of Nicholas Short, who's led the majority of this race. I believe Nicholas was out in front when Derek was around 3.5 or 4 seconds back. So now the tables have turned here, and the 31 now climbs to 4th. He brings Eric Royce right along with him. Eric trying to make that pass alongside the 99, and all these playoff drivers fighting for position. 45 laps into the run. Derek Justice starting to find his way to the front of the field, as this is a very intense battle here. The 72 and the 99. 28 of Ian Smith right there as well. And looks like Nicholas Short going to continue to ride way up high and try and preserve his tires, cool them back down. Keith Maotto makes the pass on Kirk Marble, and now he's approaching that side-by-side battle. We'll see what happens here. But the car's too wide, going to help him a lot on the straightaways, as now he pulls right to the back bumper. And we'll see if he looks to the inside going into turn 1. Not going to make the move just yet. Content to ride in line for at least 2 more corners. But I am going to take a look at the 31 here. Now up to 4th, and he is right in tow of the 44 machine of Zach Nichols. And Chris Samard, Matt Kemp, probably see that 31 coming, that bright pink and white car climbing through the field. And also Eric Royce, very impressed with the run he is having right now. Definitely a smart move to listen to what the 31 was doing. And Keith Maotto trailing a little behind those two, but he is starting to climb forward. And perhaps these guys saved a little bit of fuel the way they were running as well. So there might be a little bit there in terms of strategy, but Keith trying to complete the pass on Ian and unable to do so as the 28 cuts back to the inside line. But I think this should be over pretty soon here. As Maotto working the high line, Ian Smith down low. This is the fight for 7th and 8th. Maotto with a really good run into 3 and 4. He will clear Ian Smith and take over the 7th spot. Eric Royce now coming up to the back of Zach Nichols. Chris Samard getting passed up by Derek Justice. So one more spot, and Derek Justice will have gone from the 11th position to the lead in a matter of about 20 laps. And what a run that would be to get up there. He's looking for his 2nd straight victory. Matt Kemp looking to deny him. But I don't know if there's any standing in the way of that 31 car as he continues to climb. Eric Royce also fighting through traffic. He's up now, trying to take the 4th position away. Getting closer and closer to doing so as Zach Nichols nearly brushes the wall. And they are even headed into turns 3 and 4. The 72 really sends it in deep, and he will complete the pass. 44 looking to get a run down the front straightaway, not going to get to the inside. And Royce will take over 4th position, but how long before the 31 catches the 48, and how long before pit stops? Now 52 laps into this race, past halfway. If you haven't cheered on your favorite driver, please do so in the chat. Let them know you're here and you are supporting them. We'll give you a shout out on the broadcast so that the drivers can hear that you are out there watching. Right now, Derek Justice climbs through the field, now up to 2nd. He was 11th just about 20 laps ago. Saved his tires, and he brought Eric Royce and now Keith Maotto up through the field. Maotto into 6th, Royce into 4th. And they are continuing to gain ground, but Derek Justice just a car length between himself and leader Matt Kemp. We've seen some swapping for that top spot, but it's only been between Kemp and Nicholas Short. Derek Justice looking to be the next new leader here, as he gets right to the back bumper, now looks down low. The 48 trying to play a little defensive role here and ride that 2nd lane, but Derek, a big run down the back straightaway. He looks to the inside. This is the fight for the lead. Down into turns 3 and 4. Derek hugging that blue line. The 48 of Matt Kemp unable to fight him off. Derek Justice going to take it at the line. 48 still on his outside, but it is only a matter of time. That being said, the 48 doing an excellent job hanging tough out there on definitely worse off tires. 48 actually pulling an advantage down here in 3 and 4. Derek facing his biggest challenge yet, fighting for that top spot. The 48 going to have the best tires of anyone who's up here running at full pace, but the 31 now looks like he will take the spot. Derek Justice to the lead, and he will clear the 48, who goes a bit wide out of turn 2. Here comes Eric Royce closing in. Things getting very interesting here, as now the 72 within just a couple tenths. And Derek Justice out in fresh air. How fast is that car gonna be? Can the 48 hang with him? At the moment, it doesn't look like it, because he's about 3 or 4 tenths, or 3 or 4 car lengths back already in the 72. Right on the back bumper. He's gonna look down low, try and get some air on the nose. That'll push the 48 up the racetrack a little bit. And here comes Royce to the inside. Maotto has somewhat stalled out here in 6th. As he tries to make a pass on Zach Nichols, he'll go to the outside. Nichols going to play a defensive role down on the inside here. Keith going to have to do it the hard way and the long way. Here he goes now to the inside, though. Trying to set up that pass down in 3 and 4. Just not enough grip to complete it early. Is very tight battle here for the top 5. And Eric Royce did complete the pass, so he's in 2nd. And we'll see if he can reel in Derek Justice. All these 3 drivers, Derek Justice, Eric Royce, and Keith Maotto now in the top 5. As Maotto clears the 44, and they have all saved the tires impeccably. Maotto looking to try and catch up to those other 2. Currently a couple seconds back of Derek Justice, but Eric Royce hanging out right here in 2nd. He's running very similar lap times to Derek Justice. And That is the difference right there, just about 4.5 tenths. But to Eric, not with the luxury of clean air. Definitely going to cost him a little bit of speed in the corners. He'll gain some of that back on the straights, but ultimately he will lose ground if he doesn't find another way around the racetrack where he can get some fresh air on the nose. But things have settled out now in the top three. We're going to cut to a side-by-side commercial break, and we'll be right back with more green flag racing action.
Okay, we're going to keep this quick.
Because at Blaze Pizza,
artisanal quality at crazy fast speed is what we're all about.
Fresh dough made from scratch daily.
Walk the line and choose any toppings you'd like.
It's all one price.
Then it's just 180 seconds in our blazing hot oven
For fast fire perfection.
That's Blaze Pizza. Sound good?
Then come check us out and build your own pizza at Blaze Pizza.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
Looks like we have some changing of the guard here at the front. Kirk Marble takes the top spot as Derek Justice brings it down the pit lane. Eric Royce, Keith Maiato as well coming down the pit lane, getting service on their vehicles, getting a nice fresh set of tires, and I think they'll be able to go the rest of the way. Just 57 laps. Derek Justice, a long stop, maybe a speeding penalty. You know, we're going to go back and take a look at how he got on pit lane. And it could have been a late decision. Let's see what happened. Definitely really hot onto the pit lane, trying to lock it down. And Derek Justice still sitting on pit lane. 40-second pit stop. Might have gotten excessive speeding, and that could be a 40-second hold. So we'll see if he pulls off here in about 8 seconds. Still waiting. There he goes. That was a long pit stop, and that is going to cost him the race unless we get a caution here. Out in front, though, Zach Nichols, who is already pitted as well. He takes the top spot away from Matt Kemp. And the 44 are going to lead for the first time here tonight. So a lot of things going on as we cut to that side-by-side commercial break. When you come back, everything has changed. Everyone has pitted. Kirk Marble just came off pit lane. And Derek Justice right here in front of him. Derek showed one lap down. It was a 54-second stop, which indicates he got a 40-second penalty, which means excessive speeding. And what a blow to the 31, who had climbed all the way to the front. And he is going to need a miracle at this point. Only 10 drivers left on the racetrack as Justin Walters and Dylan Alt took it behind the wall over 20 laps ago. Derek currently scored 10th, and looked like he was going to be on his way to a victory, but a mistake on pit lane could make the difference here. Zach Nichols in front, Matt Kemp right on his back bumper, though. This is the new battle for the lead. And Zach on one lap older tires than the 48. And this is going to be very interesting to see how the tires wear, but the 44 with the clean air out in front. And Zach has been pretty good at saving his stuff. Has yet to capture a victory, but he had a nice streak. I believe 3 second place finishes. Check out his season results so far. So Yeah, he had 3 straight second place finishes, and 4 out of the last 10 races. Has not been able to close the deal. He has led some laps this season, had a great race at Darlington where he captured the pole and led the first 32 laps before a mistake, putting him outside the top 5, but definitely been a contender week in and week out. Just needs to close the deal and finally leading some more laps at Charlotte tonight, as he's climbed from 5th now to 1st. But Chris Samard starting to reel in these top 2, and Chris has to be careful not to burn up the stuff, make his move too early. But everybody here should be good on fuel, except for perhaps Anthony Burrows, who pitted 11 laps ago. So it's gonna be, I think he can do it actually. That'll be 61 laps on the tires and fuel, and the last run I think they did 64 laps, some of them. So Anthony should be good to go. Probably not gonna be any issues there, but currently in 8th position. Not a great race for Anthony by this season's standards, still up in the top 10, but not what he would be hoping for to start his chase. The 48 of Matt Kemp going to jump back to the lead here. The 44 of Zach Nichols fighting it out side by side with Chris Samard. And that is for second, as it is definitely getting darker and darker. The track temp starting to come back down, 89 degrees. The air temp has remained the same, so interesting that it has not dropped more. I'm actually a little confused by why that might be, but to recap, 10 lead changes in this race, and we only had a few through the first half of the event. But things have gotten pretty spicy here after the pit cycle. Now 4 drivers up in contention for the lead battle. Nicholas Short here in 4th has reeled these guys in. He's on slightly older tires than all of them. And Keith Mayato back here, he is on much fresher tires. We'll have to see when he, if he can reel them in. He's got pretty clean air in front, so I think he will save some tire. And perhaps he learned something from the first run. This is Eric Royce on board his nose cam, currently in 6th. So Mayato able to leapfrog the 72 during that pit cycle. And the big loser, of course, being Derek Justice, 1 lap down with the speeding penalty. Currently in the 10th position. Just an unfortunate mistake to make. And he's going to have a little hole to climb out of next week as well. He will beat a couple of playoff drivers, and it's only a few points between himself and who is now in the lead, Chris Samard. Samard, looking for his first victory of the year, has not had the runs this season that I think we would have expected to see, but Chris now takes the top spot away from Matt Kemp, and he is starting to drive away. And Chris with 1 podium finish. That was at Michigan back in December. That was his only top 5, 7 top 10s on the season in the 18 races that he has run, but not the best luck. He has led a few laps here this season, and looking to lead some more now as he takes the top spot, starting to pull away about 0.3 of a second over Matt Kemp. And both of these drivers on the same amount of laps on the tires. Next driver with an advantage would be Keith Mayato, and he is starting to reel these guys in, but not by a whole lot. They all have the benefit of some type of draft, and Keith not really able to pull any draft from Nicholas Short in the 4th position. But this will be a long run, barring a caution, and I'm sure Derek Justice hoping with everything that he has to get one. Just not enough cars on the track, I think, to bring one out. Derek is racing his tail off. Currently one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car on the track. He does have some of the freshest tires, along with Kirk Marble. Kirk here in 9th. He's got 3.5 seconds to catch up to Anthony Burrows, and that is what 6 laps under green on old tires will do for you. It will cost you some time. And Kirk also with some right front damage, not sure how he got it. But out in front, it is Chris Simard who leapfrogs a few drivers. I think he was sitting in 2nd or 3rd before the pit cycle, maybe 4th actually. But he gets out in front of Matt Kemp now, able to chase him down from a little ways back and drive around him and Zach Nichols. And Nicholas Short still trying to find a way around the 44, but unable to do so. As Keith Maotto now really starting to close in. He's chopped 0.6 off the lead over the last 2 laps. And he's going to look and try and get up there and battle it out with his teammate in that 37 machine, Chris Simard. Eric Royce here in the 6th position. He is currently 2.6 seconds back from Keith Maotto, and Ian Smith not too far behind him. Actually, probably going to get some draft here from the 72, and then he's helping along Derek Justice in the 31 machine. Derek, of course, off the lead lap. It's been well documented to this point. Some of the top drivers from the regular season really struggling here in this race. The only 4 drivers to have wins this season, actually all 8th or worse. And the top 7 have not won a race yet this year. They're all looking for their first victory. It looks like it's probably going to be one of them. Right now, Chris Simard starting to lose a little ground to Matt Kemp. Is the 48 just lagging back, trying to save some tire, or is he now just getting some benefit from the draft and really lining up his runs? Maotto looking to the outside of Nicholas Short. That's going to be for the 4th and 5th position. Now cuts back to the inside. And the battle down into turns 3 and 4. Maotto going to send it way down into the corner. And he will take that spot away. The 99 drops into 5th. Maotto going to try and pull some draft from Zach Nichols here. And he continues to close in on the lead. Fastest car on the track. Other than Chris Simard and Derek Justice. And both of them either in clean air or getting some pretty heavy draft. Derek able to get by Eric Royce and Ian Smith. And now getting a little bit of a push from the 72 as they draft down the front straightaway here. Derek would be a little under 5 seconds behind the leaders. That's where Eric Royce is scored. So he has closed in on the top battle, but it's going to take a while for him to get up there and earn his lap back. I don't know if it's even possible in the laps remaining, as now the battle for the lead really heating up. Matt Kemp right there with the 37 of Chris Simard, nose to tail pretty much. As Simard's starting to struggle, and you can see the 48 gets that pole down the straightaway. Down into the corner here, nose to tail at 37 Simard. Starting to drift up the track on exit, and you can see the 48 able to keep a little bit tighter groove. And now, will Matt Kemp make the move down into turn 1, or is the 37 going to be able to hold him off? And he will for one more set of corners at least. Maotto now up to 3rd, and he is really closing. So I would not count out The 36, he's got all day to get up there, and he's got fresher tires than either of the top two, and has proved that he's pretty good at saving tires. As he followed Eric Royce and Derek Justice through the field, and he's the only one to not really make any mistakes on pit lane. Looks like Eric Royce didn't have a great stop or something, and that put him back about 3 seconds or 4 seconds from Mayato. So big difference there, either on pit entry or pit exit. Mayato shaving away at that lead, but the top two still nose to tail. Matt Kemp trying to find somewhere to put the 48 Camaro, and nowhere to go, as Samard kind of blocking both grooves. And this is going to get intense here. Just 30 to go next time by. Who are you cheering for? Who's going to win this race? Comment in the chat who you think is going to come out on top here. Also, check out some of our sponsors. Consider subscribing here if you're enjoying the racing content. Consider following, and check us out on all the other platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You find us on any of those in V-Speed Sim or V-Speed Media. As Matt Kemp now looks to the inside, Samard tries to block the run, but not going to be able to. Here comes the 48 with a power move to the inside. Is he going to clear him? He will. Samard checks up in the center of the corner, trying to get the undercut. It looks like he is going to lose the speed there in the center of the corner and not be able to recover it. He's now starting to lose a little bit of ground. Not sure if maybe fuel is a concern from some of these drivers. Don't really know, but Keith Mayato back here just 1 second behind. That time by was second fastest car on track behind Matt Kemp. Again, only the one caution this race, but 12 lead changes, and about 90% of those came after the halfway point. Keith Mayato now 1.3 seconds back. He is not closing in the rate that I would have expected, actually losing a little bit of time now, so maybe cut a little too much time out early and now paying the price as he gets closer to the draft. Zach Nichols back here in the fourth position. Zach looked like he might have had a shot at it here. At the start of this run, he was in the lead, and he's led 6 laps here tonight. One of many leaders. Eric Royce now up to 5th. We'll see if he can reel in any of these guys. Fighting it out with Ian Smith, though, for top 5 position, and Ian right now in 6th. Samard losing ground. Mayato maintaining with the 37 and the 48. But not gaining like I would have expected. He's definitely going to be in draft range here in just a couple laps, and that'll help him down the straightaways. And Zach Nichols actually starting to close in. He's fastest car on the racetrack, other than Nicholas Short. And Nicholas and Anthony Burrows both going a lap down. I don't know what happened, but they pitted 5 laps ago. And maybe they weren't going to make it on fuel, but now 3 cars 1 lap down. Kirk Marble, the last car on the lead lap. And interesting change of events as the pole sitter Nicholas Short once again leading a lot of laps here, 47 to be exact. I think he's going to be second to Matt Kemp, who currently has 46. Going to be taking 47 right here. So Nicholas Short starting on the pole, leading a lot of laps. It's been the story a few times this year, but not able to close it out. Currently riding in 9th, 1 lap down. Not sure why they made that call. But Derek Justice not too far in front of them, just a couple seconds actually. And he is on much older tires, so it will be only a handful of laps here before the 99 and the 62 both get there to pass him up. You can see just how much faster these guys are on the fresh tires. They've got about 5.5 seconds to catch up to leader Matt Kemp. And at this rate, they should get there. Running about a second a lap faster, so they'll get there in no time, really, and be back on the lead lap. But Derek Justice about to get passed up here. As the 99 goes to the high side, 31 coming up the racetrack. Oh, almost contact. There is contact. 99 now goes to the inside. He had to check up his run, so cost him a little bit of time that lap, but he will get back there. And Anthony Burrow is not far behind. He sits one lap down. Currently last car on the racetrack, and that is not what we expected out of the driver of the 62, who's been so successful all season long. Just a bit of a bummer race here, I would expect. Such a great regular season and not going to be in the best position headed into next race. Looks like he'll probably end up 9th here, barring any significant issues for anyone else. But again, we've got Cody Kennedy in chat cheering on Kirk Marble. He's led 2 laps here tonight, currently rides in 7th. Doing everything he needs to do to stay in contention going into next week's race. And right now he'd be on the inside of the top 8 cut line. Meanwhile, at the front here, things definitely heating up. 4 drivers within 1.1 seconds, and Keith Maotto down under a second behind your leader, Matt Kemp. He is bringing along the 44. Here comes Nicholas Short to the inside of Zach Nichols. And he's going to go on past. I don't know if anybody even knows how fast that car is. He goes to the outside of Maotto, and that is going to hurt Maotto. Very awkward place to have to make a pass, but actually Keith gains a little bit of time. Maybe he got a nice pull down the straightaway there. And he is closing in on his teammate Chris Samard. And Matt Kemp next one in line for Nicholas Short. And the 99 will be back on the lead lap. And laps really winding down. The 2 V-Speed machines riding second and third, nose to tail. And the 48 going to be alongside the 99. Definitely cost him some time down the straight. Maotto looks to the inside of Samard. This is for second position. Samard up high, able to hang on to it. But Keith on fresher tires and has been closing for a lap after a lap. We'll see if Chris gives it to him. Knowing that every point counts, this will be Chris's best finish, regardless of if he wins or finishes second. And Maotto losing ground now because 37 holding him up. The 44 of Zach Nichols trying to find some way around. And he goes way high, cuts way low, and gets a big run down the front straightaway. Maotto now going to try and make the move. Oh, almost 3 wide. We are 3 wide. The 44 of Nichols way down low. Samard's going to lose 2 spots in this corner. And Maotto going to clear him, and the 44 as well. They had closed up quite a bit, but they just lost almost all that ground they made up. Fighting for second position, the leader 1.3 seconds out in front. And this is the view from Maotto, the view from Zach Nichols. You even notice the Elmo on the hood of Zach Nichols' machine, but both the 36 and 44 now starting to pull away from Samard. It looks like the 44 a little bit better grip in the center of the corner, but both of them are closing on the leader. Just don't know if they have enough time to get there. Matt Kemp looking pretty solid right now. He's led 57 laps. That is the most here tonight. If he leads the rest of them, it's going to be almost half the race. It's Mayato and Nichols now starting to fight it out for second. And the more they fight, the more that 30, or the more the 48 is going to pull out in front. Here comes Burrows as well, who's on fresher tires. And looks like he's just going to wait back here, knowing he can't really gain or lose any spots. Pretty classy move to not try and race it up with these guys for position. But the longer these two race it out, the less time they will have to get there. And right now, not making any progress forward, actually costing each other quite a bit of time. And somebody's going to have to settle this. The 44 dives in hard. I've said it so many times, Nichols has been so close to a victory. He's got, I think, 4 runner-ups this season, now rubbing doors with the 36, headed down into 3 and 4. Nobody wants to give it up, but somebody is going to have to, as they are really pushing the issue, costing themselves time lap after lap. That time, Nichols' fastest car on the speedway, other than Nicholas Short. And he is going to complete the pass, and now Anthony Burrows goes on by. Anthony's going to probably slip past the 44. He'll get right to the back bumper and give him a nice little arrow drive down the straightaway, and now he'll jump to back bumper. Now to the outside, so Anthony Burrows putting the 44 in a bit of an awkward spot here. And this is only going to hurt the 44 even more. He can't exit the corner like he would like to. That time losing about a half-tenth down the straightaway. And time is going to be a problem for those drivers. Matt Kemp out in the lead. 1.3 seconds is the gap. And looking like it's smooth sailing for the 48, who's really only going to have to deal with the 62 in a couple laps here. Burrows not on the same lap, not a problem really. Matt Kemp looking like he's going to put the 48 in victory lane and put himself in a good spot headed into next week. At Dover next week, the Monster Mile, anything can happen. You want to be comfortable in the points with as much of an advantage as you can possibly get. Zach Nichols starting to chip away, just going to be a little too late, I think. Unless we see some significant progress here in the next couple laps, I think he's going to run out of time. And Mayato right there behind him, probably going to run out of time as well. It's going to be more difficult for Keith to make any kind of a move with the 44 out in front of him. But it has been quite an intense race. A lot of side-by-side action, a lot of changing hands for the lead, especially the second half of the race after the pit cycles. It has been all over the place, just completely unexpected to see some of these guys out in front. Matt Kemp has been there all night, though. He's been the dominant force at the front of the field. Himself and Nicholas Short have been the top two the majority of this race. And it's probably going to pay off. Nichols now under a second behind. We'll see if he can get any kind of draft down the straights here. Let's go on to the nose cam and see what he can do. Just 5 laps to go, coming to 4 to go. Laps rapidly winding down, and we saw the same thing happen just a few races ago for Zach. He was closing in. I think it was New Hampshire, actually. He was so close to catching up to Anthony Burrows and just could not get there. Just a couple car lengths back at the finish, and this time Going to be a similar story, I think. Nichols 8/10 back, coming to 3 to go here. It's going to be very, very hard, as he's only gaining about a 0.5 a lap. And it gets more and more difficult the closer you get to the front. As I've explained multiple times this race, the aerodynamic disadvantage of running behind a car cannot be overstated. It's just so difficult, as the tires are worn out now. 56 laps on the tires of this 44 machine, and he has done a great job leading 6 laps. He was leading at the start of this run, but it's not going to be enough. Coming to 2 to go, Matt Kemp, the 48 car, looking for his first win of the year. I don't know if anyone would have expected the 48 to try and come out on top here. But Matt Kemp, 15 starts this year, 7 top 5s, only 1 top 10, and that came back at Auto Club in race number 2 of the season. And this is by far and away the most laps he's led. Most he led in another race was 4 at Michigan, and he's only got 1 more to go to capture a win in the NorseForce Valhalla Cup Series. The 48 Auto Guard machine out in front. Behind him, Zach Nichols not able to close. The gap still 1 second. Down the back straightaway, just 2 corners remain in chase race number 1. The Crockett Creek Beef Jerky Charlotte 225 coming to a close, and standing on top, it's going to be Matt Kemp in the number 48 car, capturing the win in playoff race number 1. Congratulations to Matt Kemp. Dominating race here for the driver of that race car, and just got to be an ecstatic driver. And see what he says here in his post-race interview, but definitely an incredible performance from Matt, as he takes away a victory here and can put himself at the top of the point standings headed into Dover next week. And we'll have to confirm with the league admins here if you lock yourselves in with a victory. But Kemp burning it down right now, celebrating his victory. Started on the front row, and he led nearly half the race, 70 laps in the Hendrick Auto Guard number 48. And we're going to be right back to interview him and the rest of our top 3. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, we don't have fancy Madison Avenue advertising. We don't have famous Hollywood endorsements. We don't have mythical creatures as mascots. See, here at Crockett Creek, we're proud of what we don't have. No artificial preservatives or chemicals, gluten-free, and no added MSG. Just all natural, small batch protein made in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. Enjoy Crockett Creek Jerky, from our backyard to yours.
And back at the racetrack now, we're going to bring up our race winner of Chase Race number 1, Matt Kemp. This is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well, Matt, you got it done here in Chase Race number 1. You lead 70 laps after starting on the front row and able to hold off some hard-charging drivers in Zach Nichols and Keith Maotto. What did it take to get it done here at Charlotte tonight?
Yeah, I guess it was a pretty good time of the year to start winning, but tonight it was really great being able to have those long green flag runs, and I figured tires conservation was going to be a pretty big part of it, so I really focused on saving my tires and just trying to be good somewhere around the middle to the end of the run. I think we accomplished that pretty well, and obviously pit road was a big part of it with unfortunately Derek had that speeding penalty, and I think he was going to be tough to beat if he didn't get that, but it all worked out for us, I guess.
Yeah, it worked out indeed. You didn't come out in the lead after the pit cycle, but able to slip on past Chris Samard after a very intense battle and chasing him back down. And this low downforce or high downforce, low horsepower package, such an interesting way to race around these 1.5 miles. And it's so tough riding behind another car. How did you hang on to Chris, like his back bumper, and eventually make the pass there?
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, Zach Nichols actually short pitted it, so he was out there on a little bit older tires than everyone. So for having those little bit older tires, he did a pretty good job there. But in terms of getting around Chris, and because Chris came flying around me after I got by Zach, and I just kind of was hanging out behind him, and I knew it was going to be close on fuel. My tracker was saying I was going to make it, but I was still watching it, and I was getting up behind him and going half throttle down the straightaways trying to save a little more. So luckily the draft obviously played a big part of that, but just saving my tires ended up working out there in the end too.
Yeah, it definitely worked out. And kind of an interesting statistic, this is your second top 5 of the year. You got to go all the way back to Auto Club for that first one. You had a few top 10s spread out through there, but what a time to take a victory. And what does it mean to have that going into the cutoff race next week at Dover, to have this kind of points cushion?
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. I don't think they do win and you're in here, but obviously with the points gap, whether they do that or not, it's still a big deal, and we're better off than anyone else in the chase right now, so I guess we have that going for us, but a lot can happen next week. We'll see.
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing if you can follow up with another victory there, maybe sweep this first round of the chase. It would be quite a story of hitting your stride at the right time. But anyways, a dominating race here tonight. You traded the lead with Nicholas Short for the first half and took it away there in the tail end of the race. But started on the front row, come home the winner. Who do you want to give a shout out to for tonight's victory?
I had a lot of fun battling my competitors tonight, and I really appreciated how they raced me. A lot of clean driving. So everyone I had battles tonight with, it was a lot of fun racing them. I can't thank them enough for racing me clean and making it fun. Because it's easy to make it not fun, but I got to thank all the guys at NorseForce Racing and No Chance Motorsports and everybody who puts this league on, and obviously you guys in the broadcast and everything you guys do.
Awesome. Well, congrats again on the victory here tonight, Matt. You put on a great show for us, and you take home your first victory of the season. So go celebrate, and we will catch up with you next week at Dover Speedway.
Right on, absolutely. Appreciate it.
All right. And that was your winner here tonight, Matt Kemp. Let's go to second place, Zach Nichols. Let's get him up here in the booth. Zach Nichols is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Zach, another runner-up finish. This is your fourth in the last 5 races, but maybe not the worst place to be to start off the playoffs. Give us a rundown of your race, and you almost got to Matt there at the end, but just kind of give us a rundown of how you got there.
Yeah, I mean, finishing second is for 5 weeks in a row. It's just wish we could win, man. Just, yeah, the race went well. We started, I think, 5th. We kind of stayed there, and then we had that issue with Dylan Walt, but that got situated, and we weren't good at saving tires in the first part, but on that last run, I think we saved pretty good tires, but then we had to race those the second and third to catch up to Matt, but I think we killed our right front when we were racing them.
Yeah, you actually had a disadvantage pitting a little bit earlier than everybody else on the racetrack. So other than a couple cars that were at the tail end of the pack, but yeah, you were starting to close back in there, and how hard was it racing behind other cars tonight with this high downforce, low horsepower package for you?
Oh yeah, definitely when I was by myself, the car liked to turn really well, but as soon as I got behind someone, it just seemed like it just wanted to go straight to the wall. But yeah, it just didn't like being behind people, which is really hard to try and save that right front while your car is pushing. But
yeah, it makes it much more difficult to make passes as well. But you came from 5th, come home 2nd here, and going into Dover next week, the cutoff race for this first round of the playoffs. How are you feeling on going in there?
I usually like Dover, but with this new tire model, for some reason, I just can't save tires there. So we're hoping we can learn something and save some tires there and somehow get a decent finish.
Yeah, and we'll be looking forward to seeing if you can capture that first win and kind of get that second place monkey off your back. 4 out of the last 5 races. You did lead some more laps here tonight. You led 6. Started in 5th, come home 2nd. So anybody you want to give a shout out for tonight's race?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my real-life sponsors, Pro Fleet Transport and Paul's Cars Performance Heads. I'd like to thank you for broadcasting. I'd like to thank the league admins for putting the league on, and I'd like to give a shout-out to Matt on the win.
Awesome, Zach. Well, congrats again on another very good run here tonight, and we'll catch you next week at Dover.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was second place finisher Zach Nichols. Let's go to third place finisher Keith Mayato, who has had a very good streak of runs here. Keith Mayato, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
And for it.
Well, Keith, we've been talking to you a lot lately up here in the booth. It seemed like a long time at the start of the season before you finally got up here for an interview, but it's been a lot of races in a row. Third place here tonight. Didn't have quite enough at the end to get there for the win, but give us a rundown of how things went from your perspective.
Beginning of the race went pretty well. I was a little, aggressive, just trying to stay out of the mayhem that's held back. But it helped a little bit. And then the second stint there after the caution, I figured I'd lay back and see what my car had on the long run, and I was nowhere near the speed that Justice and Royce had there, because Justice he had insane long run speed. And then I came up the last run there after the green flag pit stop. Had a good pit stop, good entry, and then didn't save anything at the end there. Like, didn't overdrive it, but just consistently just drive nice fast laps, and it paid off for a top 3 finish.
Yeah, and it looked like for a while there you were going to be the guy to get up there and challenge for the lead. You had to fight with Chris a little bit for that second spot, and that ultimately cost you a bit of time. Do you think that would have made a difference if he had maybe let you go, or if that battle had gone by a little bit faster?
Well, the biggest thing what happened is as soon as you get within a second of that car ahead of you, you just get that aero push and you just lose the front end. And if Chris let me by a little quicker, I think Zach probably still would have got me. We probably would have had a chance to, maybe have a chance at Matt. And if I didn't double
raced too wide with Zach there for like 3-4 laps. That might have helped. That's why I backed off. I was just like, okay, this is enough. Let's try to catch Matt. But it was a little too late for that to happen.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it looked like. You weren't gaining ground, you weren't really losing too much with the side-by-side battling, but time was definitely running out, and it did run out, but still a top 3. Great way to start the playoffs, and we head to Dover next week. So what are your thoughts on going out there?
That should be interesting. It'll probably be tiring, just 200 laps. I gotta have to learn how to relax and not tense up there because it'll be a tiring race. But I think I'm gonna have to get some practice for that race because I'm usually not the fastest guy around there. So I think long run speed should be the key for winning that race, just like tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a fast track now with the high downforce and lower horsepower, so it should be a fun race to watch. But you set yourself up for a pretty good spot to advance to the next round, assuming you get a solid finish there. But 3rd place here, plenty of points. And he did start in 4th place, come home with the podium. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's finish?
Yeah, shout out to B-Speed, Easy Design, Renegade Coffee Bar, yourself, Adam, for putting on a great show every Wednesday night, and for everyone at NorseForce for all the hard work.
Awesome, Keith. Well, another great performance from you here. You had the runner-up last week and a 3rd place this week, and definitely on a good stride right now going through the start of the playoffs. So we'll catch you next week at Dover and see how you do out there.
And hopefully I'll keep it together and talk to you next week.
All right. Hope so.
Take care.
All right. That was Keith Mayato, 3rd place finisher, and he's going to be in a pretty good spot going into the 2nd race of the playoffs as well. But once again, your winner, Matt Kemp, he captures his first victory of the season and his first top 5 since race number 2 this year. So definitely the right time to do it. The 48 car, almost like classic Jimmy Johnson hitting his stride when it counts here in the playoffs. So that is going to do it for tonight's race here, the Crockett Creek Beef Jerky Charlotte 225. Let's take a look at the rest of our results and see where your favorite drivers came home tonight and how they're going to be lining up going into the next race of the playoffs. So Matt Kemp comes out on top after a almost caution-free race, just the one earlier on, 12 lead changes, and a really long green flag run to the finish. So Kemp comes out on top. Zach Nichols comes home in 2nd. Once again, just a little bit short. His 4th runner-up finish in the last 5 races, definitely putting the heat on here in this portion of the season. So I expect him to be a contender here for the next few races. Keith Mayato comes home in 3rd, another podium finish for him. That is, I think, 3 out of the last 4 races. So definitely hitting his stride as well at the right time. Chris Simard, I believe, either his best finish or 2nd best finish. Another top 5 for him here in 4th. Ian Smith comes home with the top 5. Kirk Marble finishes in the 6th position. Eric Royce in 7th. Nicholas Short in 8th. Anthony Burrows, who we expected to be closer to the front here, he comes home almost a whole lap down in the 9th position after a late pit stop. And then Derek Justice comes home first car 1 lap down in the 10th position. In 11th, it was Justin Walters. 12th was Dylan Alt. 13th was Caden Rush, who got caught up in the first wreck with 14th place finisher Dylan Parker. 15th was Ryan Libby, who actually did not start tonight's race. Neither did Presley Gilson or Michael Euro. So just 14 drivers took to the field here tonight. And going into the playoffs next week, it's going to be interesting. Your bottom 3 are going to be Dylan Parker, Dylan Alt, also Derek Justice, and Anthony Burrows are going to be the bottom 4. The 4 winners coming into tonight's race are all going to be on the outside looking in, and what a change, what a turning of the tables happens there. I mean, that's just no one would have expected that, I think, coming into tonight's event. So it's going to be a very interesting race to see which one of those guys pulls themselves out and who is going to be there to contend for the championship course, it's not a huge gap. It's only a few points up to the next drivers, but definitely not the best position to be in with only one more race in this round. So we will be back next week at Dover, and you can catch that race here on V-Speed. Once again, the NorseForce Valhalla Cup Series here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. EST. So that's going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to Dover, one of my favorite tracks to run. Definitely a fun track, and with this new aero package should be pretty exciting. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Please consider following or subscribing to us here on Twitch. You can also find us on YouTube at VSpeed Media, where we post race replays as well as other interesting automotive and racing content. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/VSpeedSim, where we post race announcements, as well as on Instagram and Twitter, where we post those same announcements as well as new merchandise and on-site reporting and much more. So check us out on all of those platforms. And we're going to jump in with another broadcaster here tonight. Actually, yep, we'll jump in with Derek Justice, and maybe he can talk to you guys a bit more about his race. And hope you guys enjoyed once again, and we will catch you all next week.